I don't know what I want to do when I grow up.
Hey, fellow kids.
Please stop talking.
My name is Savannah. I am a user experience designer. I'm a public speaker. I also work on a badass comic. I travel, done a lot of really cool things. But when I was in college, I had no idea what I was going to do. I just kind of lived in this perpetual state of anxiety and existential dread. So today I'm going to be talking about my own college experience. If you are about to go to college or you're currently in college, I wanted to kind of break down some of the things that actually mattered. My first year was a miserable failure. I also changed majors like 4 times, though I did start a design business. I also did a lot of partying and, all the fun college stuff. And somehow I wound up with an international affairs degree, but I work in software. What's up with that? When I was going through college, I just felt this dread. Are these really the best years of my life? What if I choose the wrong major? What if I choose the wrong career? I was so terrified those college years were going to be my best years and that I was just marching to this inevitable doom. To be honest, the years after college were the best. Eventually I was able to find a really fulfilling career even if I didn't quite know what that was yet. So in my opinion, while you're in college, these are the things you should focus on. While school should be your priority, think about gaining some skills elsewhere as well. So I actually started my design business semi on accident. One winter break, I was bored, so I literally put on Craigslist that I was willing to do some pro bono graphic design work. I did some flyers for indie production company. I was really fortunate because that client was invested in helping this kid. I thought it was cool, the idea of starting my own business. I just did not know where to start. This client really became kind of a business mentor. He would take me to the local chamber of commerce. My design business started growing and growing to the point where I was having a really healthy and consistent roster of clients. So with my design business, I learned not just graphic design, but I learned sales. I had to sell myself and sell my services. I learned marketing. I even got good at social media marketing. And so because I was learning these skills, I knew these skills were going to be valuable beyond college. I actually felt a little more free in the types of majors I could pick. I eventually picked a major that really energized me instead of super focused on how am I going to get a job? Another thing you should focus on while you're in college is seeking mentorships. If there are adults in your life, wait. You are an adult. If there are people in your life that can really grow you as a person, invest in those relationships. Oh, I have to also mention that in college, build up the muscle to take the initiative. There's so many people who just wait around for things to happen. You've got to make that happen.
You got nothing if you wait for it.
And I know it's kind of scary, but you would be surprised at how many people are willing to help and want to help. While I was in college, I kind of took advantage of my age when I was in these tech conferences and these business events. I was often the youngest one by a long shot. People kind of saw me as young, scrappy, ambitious kid. A lot of people were invested in my success. Another thing that you should focus on in college that I don't think a lot of people talk about is learning what you value in friendships. When I was in college, I just let anybody in my life. You start learning what toxic behavior looks like. You start learning what your boundaries are too.
Back up! Mind your business, that's all. Mind your business.
I have much more fulfilling friendships now, but it's only because now I can recognize traits in people that are going to nourish me and traits in people that are just gonna make me feel like shit. Those people are gonna drain your energy. So while you're in college, try new things. This is the time to do it. Believe it or not, I used to be really shy. I decided, you know what? I'm tired of being shy. I'm tired of being afraid to talk to people. And so what I would actually like force myself to learn how to start conversations and approach people. And it was super scary. I can't even stress how much that changed my life. When I was in college, I had friends my age, of course, but I also had friends who were older than me. They were so like open to sharing their own life experiences. And of course, I mean, and I do this too. I mean, I'm literally doing it right now. I want to help a younger person, and so I might like share some of the mistakes I made along the way, or like warn you about things. Life's too short to make all your own mistakes. So by the time I got out of college, felt like I was way ahead of my peers, both in terms of learning how to market myself, but also like I learned some useful life stuff like, you know, stay away from toxic people. Another thing that's helpful while you're in college is really paying attention to the things that energize you. For example, one of the reasons why I did choose international affairs as a major is that it's such a weird niche major. That department was full of like insanely smart people from very diverse backgrounds. I do not do well in homogenous groups. Being around those people made me realize how much I value having very smart, very driven, very passionate people around me. I love feeding off of that energy. And so even after college, I really tried to surround myself with those types of people. Ooh, another thing is definitely interact with your professors. Professors can become mentors as well. And then finally, get involved in an extracurricular. Oh my God. Joining Model Arab League was like the highlight of my college career. Model Arab League is basically like Model UN, except for the Middle East. I was around very driven, smart people. It was the most diverse group of people I think I've ever hung out with. As a result, I got to learn about different cultures and different ways of thinking. And there are so many things that looking back now, the reason why I'm successful in my career now has a lot to do with the stuff I was doing back in college. It's so weird how all these puzzle pieces, you don't even know how they're gonna fit together right now. Years from now, you're gonna see it's like there was a reason all along. I'm trying to figure out if it's a smart idea to tell you this. Okay, I'm not saying not to focus on your studies. It should definitely be prioritized, but after your first job, who cares about your GPA? So I guess maybe my advice to you is to just not stress it. Oh, but I will warn you, do not fail a class. Holy shit. So my first year of college, I went from being a very sheltered Asian kid to now having freedom. It was not very pretty. I would like skip class. I would think I was like too good for the class, and I just would skip assignment. I wound up failing a couple of classes in my first year. And like at the time, you don't really think much about it. You're like, oh, whatever, I'll retake it. Once you get an F in a class, it is so hard to bring that up. It becomes like this 50-pound weight on your GPA. Even if you get like all A's the next semester, it just is very hard to recover from. If you feel like you're about to fail a class, just withdraw. It's better to have a W on your record than an F. That F from freshman year fucking haunted me all the way up to like my junior year. The other thing you should really be mindful of is debt. It sucks a lot. If you can stay home and go to school, I would recommend it. I had a really hard time living with my mom and dad while I was in college. It sucks. You can't party, you can't bring friends over. Your parents are gonna be all up in your business all the time. You start getting like wistfully jealous of your friends' dorms and shit. But not having that debt is nice. It sucked at the time, but oh my God, it's so much better not to have that debt hanging over your head as an adult. Anyways, embrace this time. Don't feel like you gotta rush it. So in conclusion, pay attention to the soft skills that you're developing while in college. Those soft skills have been super helpful in my career and my life. And it's okay if your college experience isn't perfect. I mean, I told you about my F's. I told you about my major changes. Four major changes.
Number of the day is 4.
and I was in school for like 5.5 years. I turned out fine. Now, if you are about to graduate, I have some videos in my YouTube channel related to prepping for interviews and how to survive your first 90 days at a new job. If you have other questions, feel free to comment below. Feel free to subscribe. Thanks for watching.